welcome to my channel. If you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below, and also hit the notification button so that every time I upload a video, you'll get a notification. That way you'll never miss another video from me again. And for those of you who are my old viewers, thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate you guys so much. With that being said, let's get into today's video. Today's video is going to be a question I get a lot. A lot of people ask me, what is the difference between LPNs and RNs? Are LPNs real nurses? Is it worth going for your LPN before going for your RN? Thank you guys so much for those questions. Those are all great questions. And I feel like I can answer this because I have been on both sides of the fields before. I was an LPN before I became an RN. I was an LPN for a long time before I became an RN. And the reason was because while I was an LPN, I was in RN school. So I'm just going to say this based on my experience. The difference to me between RNs and LPN, number one, is that most hospitals require you to be an RN in order for you to work in a hospital, whereas LPNs mostly work in the home health setting or long-term care facility, assisted living facility, and stuff like that. So does that mean that LPNs don't work in a hospital? No. I've seen a lot of job positions on hospital websites for LPN. Now, what they do there, I don't know, because when I was an LPN, I didn't work in the hospital setting. All I did was home health, which I loved. And I think the reason is the patients in the hospitals are more critical than the patient in the outside setting. Assisted living is like the patient's home. It's like older people who live in a group home, and a lot of them are stable. And so what the LPN does is give them their daily treatments, if it's wound care or breathing treatments or their daily medication, and just to keep them healthy and keep them out of the hospital. Whereas the hospital nurses are taking care of people who were home, they were stable, and something happened and they were taken to the hospital. So those are more sick patients that need a higher level of knowledge. And I say that not to insult LPNs. As I said, I was an LPN before, but the reason there is a difference between LPNs and RN is because RNs get a little more, actually a lot more education as far as taking care of acute patients than LPNs do. Some RN programs are 2 to 3 years long, and the LPN program, as far as I've heard, is only 12 months. So are you still a nurse as an LPN? Absolutely. You are a nurse. You take care of patients, you give medication, you give shots, you give medical treatments, you can educate patients. The only thing is that a lot of LPNs can't do a lot of IV medications. They can't do them at all. LPNs are not allowed to administer or do anything with IV meds, whereas RNs are allowed to do that. And let's say an LPN and an RN works in the same setting, that RN is going to be above that LPN. So as far as manager-wise, the LPN is going to have to report to the RN. So like, for example, when I was an LPN, I used to do home visits where I would go and take care of patients at home. And if I saw the patient once a day, every day, there would always be an RN who would come and do a supervisory visit. So kind of like a supervisor. She would come once a week or once every 2 weeks to check and see that I'm doing my job right. So if I was setting up medication boxes, she would go and check that. She would ask the patient if they were satisfied with the care I was providing to them and stuff like that. So they're kind of like your supervisor. So even if you work in a nursing home or an extended care facility, you have the LPNs and you have the RN. And usually the RN is more of like a supervisor, and the LPN is, you know, she's still a nurse doing her thing, but they are just at a more entry level. And the pay is different too. RNs get a little more money than LPNs, but there are ways that anybody can make a lot of money in nursing. If a RN has only one job and an LPN has 2 jobs, she gonna make more money than that RN. Let's just put that out there. But if that RN goes and gets 2 jobs, then she gonna make more money than that LPN. So I just say that to say that if you're LPN, you are still a nurse, and if you're RN, you are a nurse as well, but there is a difference. Just like with anything else, someone's always going to be, you know, at a higher position than another person. So if you're sick of hearing people say LPNs aren't nurses, just let them be. They don't know what they're talking about. They weren't there when you went to LPN school, which was freaking hard, by the way. Just let them be. Just do your thing and make your money and take care of these patients out here. You are greatly appreciated for what you do. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that answers your questions. If you have any more questions for me, please don't forget to leave them down below. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.